Welcome back to the box office, guys. We got another exciting fight this weekend. Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. Devin Haney, of course, being the Vegas favorite. Jorge Linares being a very, very big underdog. Not as big, believe it or not, of an underdog as Chris Arreola versus Andy Ruiz, which was a recent fight that was interesting, right, to say the least. So Devin Haney, Vegas favorite. Jorge Linares, Vegas underdog. I'm going to go over a few things, and see what bets to make. There's absolutely zero value in the Devin Haney money line, meaning betting on Devin Haney for him to win. You'd have to bet $1,000 to get $100 back. That risk is not worth the reward. Now, Jorge Linares, on the other hand, yes. Do we trust Jorge Linares given his resume? Not so much. Very talented fighter. He's just missing one thing. He's never been able to really, we haven't really been able to figure it out. Talented fighter. But it would be interesting to see if he can at least test and pull off the upset in this type of fight with Devin Haney. Okay. The real value is going to be in whether he wins, Devin Haney, that is, by knockout or decision. Let's take a look at the screen so I can talk about the fight. Alright, so first and foremost, the Vegas favorite, Devin Haney. He's going to be right here on the left. He is a undefeated fighter. He is he's an upcoming prospect. Took a different road to stardom, but having built up his record, did it on his own. Jorge Linares is potentially, I can go ahead and say it's his toughest opponent to date. Yuriorkis Jumboa was a fighter that was supposed to give him a test. He cruised to a unanimous decision, fighting Jumboa, who was moving up. But he definitely looked smaller, but he was his most experienced fighter. He is 5'8" with a 71-inch reach, whereas Jorge Linares, on the other hand, is 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Jorge Linares has a total of 52 fights, 47 wins, 29 knockouts, 5 KOs. The big highlight here is all of Linares' losses have come by the way of knockout. So that's something to keep in mind when placing bets here. So keys of victory, back over here to Linares. So Linares, a couple things you have to look at. Devin Haney, I'm sorry. Speed kills. You're the younger fighter. You're supposed to be just the reincarnation of Mayweather, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So use your speed. Speed kills. I put the nice little highlight here of you getting that knockout, but you need to set it up with your speed. Remember, power can knock you out, but speed is going to kill. All right, speed and being precise. Speaking of precise counters are going to make things a lot easier for you. Jorge Linares, I'm sorry. When he does come in, make sure you counter him. Give him something to think about. And speaking of giving him something to think about, it is going to be something where you need to set up and make it a guessing game. Okay, what I mean by guessing game is I'm talking about don't just come in, don't make your speed very predictable. You want to change it up, throw some feints, throw some jabs, throw some double, even triple jabs. You dictate when you're going to come in. You make them bite, give them that subtle movement. Jab to the head, shoot to the body, jab to the body, shoot to the head, double jab, move around, throw your feints, and then come in. Keep them guessing. You're going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to make this fight a lot easier if you do that. With precise counters, whenever he shoots, just remember, either catch and shoot. You like to do that nice shoulder roll, give him that shoulder roll, come back with something. And like I said, going back to point one, speed kills. You are the younger, faster fighter. Use it. There's no reason to put yourself in a position where you're going to bang it out with the veteran, especially if he wants to and feels comfortable there. So I do recommend, using your speed, your youth, and your athleticism to help you get by. If you're patient, you do these things, you're going to give yourself a really, really good chance of, not just winning, but winning big. And that's what you want. Whether it comes by unanimous decision, knockout, you just want to win and you want to win big in this loaded 135 division. So follow these key points. You'll be perfectly fine and you'll be walking into a victory. The Vegas underdog. Okay, Jorge Linares is a talented fighter, all right, guys. Don't take anything away from Linares. He has the skills that pay the bills, as they say, or else he wouldn't be fighting here with 5 losses. Yes, his 5 losses have come by knockout, but he's a very capable opponent. You can see him here dropping his opponent. He dropped Lomachenko, and he's been in some very competitive fights throughout his career. He did fight and lose to Pablo Cesar Cano, Lomachenko. He lost to Antonio DeMarco, and then Juan Carlos Salgado early in his career, right? So something I want to throw out there is he did beat Luke Campbell, although it was a split decision. He did beat Luke Campbell, which you can see here. This is the highlight of him coming forward and dropping him. Okay, so first things first, Linares. We both know when a fighter is really fast, you have to start timing them. Well, one of the traits of the great Juan Manuel Marquez was the ability to time an opponent. And I will say it's going to be a tough task, but you have to find that sweet spot. You know, if you see him shooting, if you see little habits, little giveaways, any pickoffs, anything that you can see giving away that he's going to shoot so that you can shoot with, you're going to want to do that. You don't necessarily want to try to catch and shoot with this type of opponent, because if you catch and shoot, by the time you're shooting, the guy's already working footwork, boxing circles around you. So you want to time the guy coming in. If you start tagging him up and making him come second think his attack, his approach, his game plan, you're going to make things a little bit easier for you. Now, tag the body. This is to be said for the faster opponent. You want to slow the guy down if he's on his feet, if he's on his bike, whatever the case is. You want to tag the body, flatten those tires, and slowly start picking up the pace from there. You're going to notice that once you start tagging the body, the punches aren't going to have that sting, the velocity is not going to be there, and maybe even the counters won't be there either. Now, here's the one thing, and the main reason I put this clip here. Exit correctly, okay? Exit correctly. Do not, and I repeat, do not do what you did here against Luke Campbell, who didn't capitalize in going straight back and standing in front of your opponent. If you do this, Devin Haney's going to have a field day. He's going to load up on you, and he's just going to throw his 2-3 punches and then exit out correctly. If you're stepping back and stepping forward, you're fighting in a straight line. All right, so you need to exit correctly when you time the guy, when you're reaching to the body, and after your combinations. If you go back in a straight line, all he has to do is follow with the longer reach, with the faster reflexes, the faster hands. He can potentially catch you how you caught Campbell walking straight back. So I don't want that to be your own fortune. Learn from what you've done to opponents and with what they have done wrong to you, so that you can execute and have a solid game plan here. If you do these 3 things, you're going to give yourself a good chance in pulling off the upset. And guys, remember, Jorge Linares is a seasoned vet with over 50 fights. He's a very talented fighter. At one point, they wanted to make the fight with him and Mikey Garcia. But keep in mind, Vasily Lomachenko, he lost by TKO. Pablo Cesar Cano by TKO. So his losses have all been by TKO. Could this be the fight where he puts it all together? That one fight where he can just overcome all obstacles, find that one piece that's been missing without him? Well, if he does these things, he's off to the right start. So let's take a look at my prediction for the fight. Unfortunately, this trend of Jorge Linares not getting the victory, 5 losses, all of them by the way of knockout. I don't know exactly what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but there's trends for a reason. Like they say in other sports, they're the number 8 seed for a reason. They're the number 6 seed for a reason when the playoffs come. Jorge Linares has 5 losses in his record for a reason. 5 losses by KO. Devin Haney should be able to walk out with a victory. The question is he going to win by knockout, or is he going to win by decision? Or do we think Linares can actually pull off the upset? Linares is a talented fighter. There is value in his name, but there's no value for Devin Haney. So you have to look at knockout, no knockout. If he wins by decision, you're looking at a plus 150, something along those lines. If you're looking at a knockout, it's a minus 115, something like that. Vegas definitely does things he will win by knockout. I would follow the trend if it was me, of Linares, all his losses coming by the way of knockout. But Devin Haney couldn't get out a Uriokis Jumboa, a older Uriokis Jumboa, and he really hasn't had a knockout victory since that brutal knockout of Antonio Moran. So prior to that, I want to say he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is going to be his 7th fight with 1 knockout. So there's a reason to believe that he will win by decision. But Jorge Linares, for some reason, when he loses big. He loses by stoppage. And I would ride that wave. But I want to know what you guys think, because I know I would bet my money on Devin Haney. I just want you guys to tell me, how do you guys think Devin Haney is going to win? All right. And if he wins, who would you like to see him fight? Answer down below. Please comment, like, subscribe to the channel. We have big changes coming up soon, guys, and I have a little special treat hopefully this week, so we can give you more insight in these fights, which I love so much. But please like, subscribe, and see you next time, guys. Box office, take care.